The future is here and now, and there is a lot of opportunity to do things in science, in technology, but even just working with your hands. The next generation of kids may not find an easy job testing video games like all the kids from my generation dreamed of, but maybe they could make so much money doing regular things that it doesn't matter either way. They can do what they want in their spare time. Well, who knows about these things? But our good friends Sue and Sandy Munro from Munro Associates. We're going to have a talk about that and about a whole bunch of other things. So we're going to figure it out. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. Sandy and Sue, so great to have you guys here. How have you been?
Good. Things are good.
Now, I should mention the big excitement is coming up in just a few days. Tesla Owners Club of Michigan. We've got this event coming up here. Tickets on sale now. Folks in the video can ignore this countdown timer. This is just accurate as of when we made the video. But it's going to be great. There's going to be speakers. Sandy and Sue will be there. I'll be there. Jordan Giesecke, all the usual folks. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Tickets on sale now, teslamichigan.org. So you two come from a bit different backgrounds in terms of your experience getting to where you are, but you've ended up, doing a lot of the same things, just from different sides. Tell me about those two different approaches.
Academics. So I am the schooled individual. So I guess I had a propensity and a desire to take an academic route. And so yeah, that can be very lucrative, but also there are many ways to get to the same end. And so Sandy took quite a different route.
Okay, so you have to give some details.
Oh, details.
Yes, so schools would be a good start.
Okay, that's fine.
GMI
So yes. So I am an engineer by training, obviously. Not obviously, but I am. And so, yes, my background is in terms of, so I'm a mechanical engineer, degreed mechanical engineer. So yes, I got a degree from GMI, or what now is known as Kettering University. But back then also, you weren't going to get promoted unless you got your MBA. So I had to get that too. And then I decided that, we have to probably get a doctorate. So let's get a master's first, though. So we got to get a master's and a doctorate. So I finished those degrees at Lawrence Tech University. So yes, highly degreed. But also I think Lawrence Tech offers a little bit different perspective because it says, application through practice. So, or whatever
I don't know what it is either, but at the end of the day, it did really well. Yeah. So,
and when you get those advanced degrees in all kinds of sciences, you find there's a lot of applications for it, and that's what's made you so valuable in teardowns and doing lean design stuff. Sandy, you've got what, 9 doctorates?
No, I don't even have a degree, but who cares? I grew up in a totally different world. Sue actually got shoes. It was amazing. No, we weren't wealthy at all. I started working for a living at around 9, picking tomatoes and a lot of other things, including tobacco, which was the most lucrative. I did that kind of stuff. I also worked for a guy named Mr. Roy. He was a farmer, the richest farmer in the neighborhood, but he had lousy equipment. And when I was about, 13, 12, something like that, I started driving some of that equipment and it fell apart. And at my house, we fixed everything. Mm-hmm. And so he found out that I could fix things, and I figured out how to sharpen the combine. There's a little teeth that move back up. So anyways, at the end of the day, I got some different kind of jobs, and I like that a lot better than being on your hands and knees squishing tobacco worms. So my hands used to be oily, but much better than a dark brown color that comes from squishing tobacco bugs, worms, whatever.
Well, you've done tomatoes and tobacco, so it's hard to say.
So anyway, my dad rescued me at 16 and brought me into the factory. But the factory said, you had to be 18 to get in. Okay, so I was 18 for 3 years in a row. So started my journeyman's. I became a tool maker at I think 20, and I was doing quite well. And then a guy named Norm Saluski, who was the chief engineer at the place with my dad. It was called Century Spray. He said, "My boy, you should go back to school." And reluctantly, I went back to school. I spent a couple of years at college, whatever, and I hated it. And I got into an altercation and decided it was time to move on. And so I spent my time on different drafting boards. I learned how to do costing. Anyway, I became the chief engineer at Valiant Machine Tool at 27. At 30, I got a huge offer from Ford Motor Company to come in because I had 100 and something people working for me in engineering. And Ford said, "No, you don't have to have anybody." And being not a person that likes a whole lot of people and responsibility like that, I took it, and Ford hired me. And I came in as a 6, and I left at a 13. 13 is a good deal. And then I started Munro Associates. So I am a good example of what can happen to a tradesman. And Sue's a good example of what happens if you're academically inclined. Both ways can get you to the top, but right now we're going to talk about the course or the path I took, because right now we have plenty of people that have got high degrees, but not so many people that are in the trades, and that's a real problem. We were lied to quite a bit for the last 20 years about who needed to be where and what was actually needed, and let's go to China and on and on. And now we're reaping the punishment that we so richly deserve.
Now, you recently gave a presentation to a group of students, as I understand. Kelly was telling me.
These were teachers and teachers and principals and school boards. Yeah, in South Carolina. I think it was South Carolina. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, for those who have never tried to hire a tradesman, in the last 10 years, they've gotten hard to find. If you need a deck built, if you need electrical work, if you need plumbing, it is hard to find them. They're all very busy, and they can all charge kind of whatever they want because there's just no one out there doing it. Doing these are skilled jobs, but they're not, degreed. You're not going to get a degree in engineering or architecture to
but we got a lot of those
do a
kinds
lot
of
these
people.
things.
But we don't have are tool makers. Without tool makers, you can't make tools, and without tools, you can't make parts. And if we can't make parts, then we have to go to another part of the world. And quite frankly, that was lost on our friends at Harvard, who said, "Oh, we don't need those guys. We'll just get everything made in China." This is kind of like the slave master kind of rule, right? We're the masters, and those Chinese guys will do whatever we want. Well, guess what? Sooner or later, the slave becomes the master, and that's what's happened. China is smart. They play chess. Harvard plays checkers, and that's the way it works. And we went one hop at a time until right now we are in an amazing bad situation. Definitely worse than what you're going to hear on TV or the radio. I mean, they're busy talking about LA riots, and I just heard that maybe that's not as truthful as what we see on TV. I mean, you can make things look vastly different with close-ups and things like that. I don't trust TV. I don't watch it. I only found out about the riots yesterday. Nobody mentioned it to me. And the same thing is true about China. Oh yeah, their buildings fall down and their people are all poor and blah blah. No, they're not. They are rich beyond your wildest dreams. They have. If you go to Shanghai, that's what New York City wishes it was. And you can ask Sue, she was there. These places are spectacularly beautiful. No beggars anywhere. None. Not a single beggar that I see from 2014 to 2020. That was the last time I went to China. And it was amazing. Those guys have really, their lifestyle is absolutely brilliant. And it's all on, all because of Harvard, because of the MBA philosophy. Oh, we gotta, no, we don't. We should have kept these jobs in. And there's two reasons. One is Harvard. The other one is right from kindergarten. Right from kindergarten, little boys and girls will say, "Oh, don't touch that. Don't touch this. Oh, you want to be something glamorous, a dancer, a singer, an actor, a football star, baseball, blah, blah." It's all bullshit. And I got the numbers to prove it.
So I was in Shanghai in just a couple months ago for the Shanghai Auto Show, and the only thing that's changed since you've been there is it's gotten quieter.
Yeah.
Because all the buses are electric, all the cars, almost all the cars are electric. The scooters, the little pedal tricycle rickshaws that they move cargo around in, have been retrofitted to electric. They put in more miles of subway, of metro, than the U.S. has probably built in total rail in the same time period, or maybe in the last 100 years. So yeah, they are moving aggressively, and the misconceptions about China are very, very thorough. I would say that you were the first person to tell me. This is back when we did our interview in Florida, maybe 3 years ago. I said, 10 years from now, who's at the top automotive? You said, well, somewhere in that mix is going to be Tesla and 8 or 9 Chinese companies. And a lot of comments at the time were saying, I don't see how. Well, I've been there. I see how. It makes sense. They're very aggressive in their engineering, and they're not afraid to build
not only
things.
that, they're very inventive. I mean, we taught. So if I give training on how we do things using the lean design profit, if we put it out there, we'll probably get 25, 30 people in a room. In China, I had hundreds and thousands of people in the room taking the training. Engineers,
the translator buttons in their ears.
Yeah.
It's like they're serious.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, a lot of them speak English really quite well. Probably have a bigger vocabulary than I do. So, at the end of the day, you're not looking. These guys are not chumps. They know what they're doing.
So, what is the roadmap to get people 18, 19, 25 into tool making?
Well, you have to tell them the truth. Okay. I have some statistics here. It's often cited that around 60% of the college graduates work in jobs that do not require a college degree. They went to school for 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then wound up a job as a Walmart greeter. Why? Well, because the teachers told them, oh, you have a real talent. Yeah, you need to get into HR or something. Well, guess what? We have gazillions of those people. We don't need them all. Maybe 2 or 3 out of a class, and the class might be 60, 80 people. You haven't got a chance. So 34% of the people who got a college degree, a 4-year degree, 60% of them said that the degrees they received meant nothing, and they wound up with ordinary jobs. 70% of all the people that were canvassed in this study said that they were lied to in high school. And it's true. I mean, they lie to you continuously because really and truly, teaching is like any other industry. You try and promote it. So if you want to promote an industry, sometimes you have to either stretch the truth or just out and out lie. And that's what these kids were told. Oh, you'll never get a degree unless you got a 4-year college degree. Oh, what is it going to be in? Oh, tap dancing. Oh, yeah, that'll work. No, it won't. It none of that stuff works. It's absolutely stunning how kids are lied to. And that's what it is. So first and foremost, I think they should be told the truth.
So we tell them the truth. Then how do they go to work for a machine shop? What do
Actually,
they do?
they can't. I would never hire him if I had a machine shop. A kid that comes out of high school with the education that they've got is totally useless to me. I'd rather have a kid who had a part-time job making birdhouses. At least he's not going to cut his fingers off, or she. They're of no value.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use them. People come in here all the time with various different degrees, saying that they'd like to learn to be an engineer or they'd like to learn how to be a mechanic. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
That's not my
Yeah.
job. I don't get paid for people that are learning how to do stuff. I can only use people. So what do? Well, they could be a Walmart greeter. I mean, you can get in with that. You got good conversational skills. Yeah, Walmart greeter. That's what it should be translated into. So, but that's not what the guidance counselors tell you, and that's a misnomer as well. Guidance? Yeah, I don't think so. Misinformation.
I think we have a different problem, though. I think it's fundamentally there's a stigma around skilled trades that needs to be modified culturally in the United States. It is not, it should never be a career of last resort. That is just not a truism. Not everybody resonates to a college degree. Not everybody desires to do that, or it's just not the right fit for them. And it should not be stigmatized as a dirty job. It should not be stigmatized as low grade. There's a lot of value to the skilled trades. Everyone needs a plumber, electrician. We need construction people who know how to do construction. There's a ton of opportunity in the skilled trades industry. It can be extraordinarily lucrative. You can get a certificate in a couple years. What does that mean? That means you're not going to be in debt from a 4-year degree. What does that mean? That means also that you're working at a much earlier age and having a good income. I think we need to start there, promoting maybe there is another way to have a very solid future in the United States. And being that we have a declining age force in this industry, we need to promote this aggressively to start changing that stigma.
And it has to start in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
In kindergarten. Now, I have videos that would knock your eyes out. I have videos from China and Japan where there are kids. How old do you think those little girls are?
Oh, like 5.
5 or 6.
6, yeah.
And they're learning how to take apart a cylinder head.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, at 5 or 6. Okay. Now, here's the best part. They gave them process sheets. They're in English. They're not in Japanese and they're not in Chinese.
Oh.
They're in English. They can read and they can see from the pictures what they're supposed to do. And they pick up their little torque wrenches and
do it. It's
and
cute.
do it.
That's
And
really cute.
I have video on a ton of them.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of different factories and whatnot where they were showing the kids where they can make the money. And I saw little boys on lathes, and I saw other little boys running like a pipe bending machine and whatnot. But the thing that really impresses people is if you show little girls doing it, because girls especially shouldn't touch anything dirty.
Should not be aspired to that. Yeah.
I'm telling you what, it's an incredible thing when you. So I've done a lot of research, and I found out that those people with the 4-year college degrees, 6.6% of them are going to go to jail. 39% of them are going to go on welfare at some point in their life. 16% will become the working poor. But they've got a degree. It's just the degree is useless. There should be rules. Hey, guess what? If you get a degree in something stupid, you're stupid. If you think for a second there's going to be somebody out there that's going to ask you to do things that are like ridiculous tasks and whatnot, you're going to wind up poor. And that's what all this stuff says. I can't remember all it, but this is it.
And we will be going deeper into this topic at the Michigan meetup, the summer meetup in Muskegon. Join us for that. Website information we've already given. It's in the description. Well, Sandy and Sue, I thank you guys for coming out. We've got, the big event coming up in Michigan. I hope to see you all there. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to have Sandy and Sue back in a couple days to have a deep discussion about engineering. We're talking pickup trucks. We're talking about Rivian. We're talking about Cybertruck. We're talking about Slate. Sandy wants to school me on what I got wrong about Slate. He says it's quite a bit, and he's got some experience, at least in the engineering and production side. We'll see if that translates to business. Maybe I can get them to admit that it is going to be an uphill battle. Guys, in the comments, what did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it. I'm on the road, man. I'm on my way to Michigan. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a great time. Hope you can make it out to join us. And everybody else, stay tuned. Stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots. When you subscribe, please subscribe. I need it. I'll stop begging at 100,000. I promise.